I'm actually shocked we didn't start with this one. Work-life balance. But we don't believe in that. And we believe in.
I know a lot of passionate business owners who can't pay themselves and who haven't paid themselves since the beginning.
And I think some of these things that we're going to talk about today, the reason why is because they become so bastardized that we don't believe in them anymore. They're so bastardized in today's world that they lost the meaning of what they really were in some aspects.
In our generation, as we were raising up, just work harder, it was definitely like you can outwork anybody. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be the smartest, but you have to outwork someone. And now I think the issue is more
the client or customer is always right.
Boo! Boo!
Absolutely not. And no, that doesn't make us always right either.
I disagree, but fine.
Hey there, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Amanda. Welcome to the Pursuit of Badassery, the podcast. Today we are talking about advice that we have outgrown and what we believe now instead. And one of the things I want to start off with saying is that, something I hope that never changes for me as an entrepreneur is that I am willing to change my mind. Sometimes on a whim, sometimes with lots of strategic thought behind it. Advice we're talking about today is advice that I used to believe wholeheartedly. And honestly, some of it really helped me where I was at the time. So in the time, the place that I was, in that stage of my business, it was great. But as we've built businesses, we've worked with entrepreneurs in different industries and different sides of the world. And we've seen what works in the long run. And we've realized a lot of popular business advice isn't wrong necessarily, but it can be incomplete. So today we're going to look at what we used to believe, what we believe now, and how things have changed and why.
Yes, we can change our minds. We are human and we should be evolving. Because like you said, what worked once doesn't necessarily mean it will work for a lifetime. So I'm going to dive right in. And I can remember this. This, I think, was bred into us from children. Work harder. Just work harder. Work. Yep. Put in all of the hours. Work harder. And that's not the case. We believe in working hard. And there are times where you have to maybe work harder at something, but we want you to be clever and efficient and effective and proactive and laser focused on what you need to do. And work harder from the generation that we learned it just mean putting in those hours, clocking in that time, like just continuing to work harder. And that is no longer advice that we believe.
To say, in our generation, though, there was no lack of work ethic happening for entrepreneurship. It's a little bit different now. I'm not going to poo-poo every new generation, but I think that in our generation, as we were raising up, just work harder, it was definitely like you can outwork anybody. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be the smartest, but you have to outwork someone. And now I think the issue is more of a focus problem. It's a prioritization problem. It's a decisiveness problem. Again, we've talked about this in other podcasts about consuming all this information, but never actually implementing anything. And you can work harder on the wrong thing, and it's still the wrong thing. I mean, you can work harder at getting worse. I mean, better at getting worse. That's all that is. And I'll give an example that people like to talk about posting all the time. Like you can post 5, 10, 15 times a day because you're afraid to make a sales call. And it's easier to do that one thing. Like you're busy, you're productive. It's doing something that's forward facing-ish, but hard work isn't a strategy. It's a multiplier, and it can multiply good things or bad things. It's going to multiply the system that's running. So it works in the whole, like, I know it's cliche though, work smarter, not harder, but it is something that Lynn and I 100%, because
absolutely,
me in my 20s, I would just keep working, work. That was me. Working 9 to 5, whatever song you want to put in there, little Dolly Parton. That song is the best.
It is.
I would have worked forever. And now I can still work forever, but I work differently for sure. I used to believe that being passionate and being like, I can do anything, and part of that work ethic, like, I'm just gonna, but no, passion is a terrible business strategy. People don't buy your passion if you aren't marketing it the way you need to. They buy solutions, they buy outcomes, they buy transformations. They're not buying it just because you like it. It's not, if I build it, they will come. Because I love it, someone else will love it. I know a lot of passionate business owners who can't pay themselves and who haven't paid themselves since the beginning. because they're so passionate. And if I just believe in this cause enough and love this business enough, again, it's the field of dreams. If I build it, they will come. I know a lot of business owners who became passionate, and that's what made them start the business, but that's not going to keep the business going forever. You need strategy, not just passion.
Well, I think that's it, because, I think of Simon Sinek, why, and like having that kind of that niggle inside of you that makes you want to do things. And I think that we should have some passion in our life, but I do agree with you, but for different reasons, because yes, they're not putting in the work. It's almost like this, like they expect things to come very easy. Like you said, like if they build it, they will come, but also they just don't have their mind in it. They're only leading with
it's a love affair.
Yeah, it is.
Passion does not create profit. Profit gives you the freedom to be passionate. Correct. Those are not the same thing.
Correct. Absolutely. Said it.
Yeah, I love being passionate. Passion's great. I'm passionate about business, but I'm also strategic, and it's also a profitable thing. I'm not doing it just because I love it. It's a bonus, but sorry, passion doesn't create profit.
No. Okay, so the next one I'll give you is have a 5-year plan. And this can be coupled with a business plan. Actually, my sister just messaged me about a business plan. I was like, babe, like AI will create it for you in like 5 minutes. Like if you want it for an investor, blah, blah, blah. But we definitely believe in having vision. We definitely believe in having something out there. And I think some of these things that we're going to talk about today, the reason why is because they become so bastardized that we don't believe in them anymore. They're so bastardized in today's world that they lost the meaning of what they really were in some aspects. And I think, we definitely don't think that you need a 5-year plan, but you should know where you're going. And your plan, though, should be the next 6 to 12 months. So a 5-year vision with a 6 to 12 month plan. Having a 5-year plan, shit happens, man. Life's hard sometimes.
It's like having a birth plan. It ain't gonna work.
God. Yeah.
No.
It's wild. So no, we do not believe in having a 5-year plan, but a vision is different than a plan. So the plan is that strategy, those action steps, that accountability, that we believe 6 to 12 months. Like we don't want you to just wake up every day and wing it. You should be going towards an objective or a vision. That vision is breaking down into actionable objectives or KPIs or goals in which you can create your 6 to 12 month plan on.
I love that one. That's a good one, because just thinking about a 5-year plan gives me hives. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 6 months. Who knows? Oh, all right. My next one is saying yes to every opportunity. Back in the day, it was every opportunity. Of course, I'm going to say yes. What was that movie with Jim Carrey? Was the yes? No, I'm sorry. You can't say yes to everything. Every time you say yes, you're invisibly saying no to like 100 things. Every new offer, every partnership, every side project, every client that isn't a fit, every opportunity has a cost. And so it's not like, can I do it? Like, yeah, I can do a lot of stuff, but should you do it? No. Every time you say yes, you're also saying no to something else. Every time I say yes to tiramisu, I'm saying no to the lemon meringue. Okay. Well, unless I'm having a really bad day, in which case I'm saying a yes to both, but then I'm saying no to my figure. So I'm always saying no to something. So no to yes. Do not say yes to everything.
I agree. We need to have discernment. We need to have an understanding of what's right for us, and making decisions based on internal dialogue and direction versus just willy-nilly and again with all of the yeses. And I do like what you said, and I know we say this all the time, yeses even have consequences because you're saying no to something for the analogy's sake. No, saying yes to everything just spreads you out.
Yeah, dilutes what you're really going to do.
Yeah. Come on. No, have discernment. Definitely don't say everything. I'm actually shocked we didn't start with this one. I'm shocked. Work-life balance. Now, we never called it work-life balance.
No, that's a terrible name.
Oh, I hate that. We probably did believe this at one time or say this at a point because it was such a cliche phrase to say, but we don't believe in that. And we believe in harmony. I'll speak for both of us. And Work-life balance is bullshit. And that also couples with you got to keep state and church separate. you got to keep friends and business, or personal and business
Don't
separate.
mix business and pleasure.
Yeah, bull. Like I think they go together. So yeah, do not believe in that at all. Everything affects everything. So what's happening in my personal life is absolutely affecting my business. What's happening in my business is absolutely affecting my personal life. So in having a balance, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. It is a rhythm. It is a cadence. It is a dance in which you're doing. And some of us like to lead quite often, and more often than others. So some of us love to work. Like Amanda and I talk about all the time. It's funny when I get these questions sometimes from new people in my circle. What do you do for fun? At work. I love our businesses, but we also counter that and make sure that we're taking care of the other side, right? And so I work out all the time. I know you do too. I go to massages. I, do other things to be able to make sure that I'm taking care of the personal side and making sure that I'm getting the shit done that I need to get done on the business side, and vice versa, right? Taking care of the business and getting shit done on the personal side as well. But there is no such thing as work-life balance.
Love how angry people get when I say that. I'll be doing summits or like panels and speaking and talking about being a mompreneur and all that jazz. I always say it because I do not believe in a work-life balance. I think that is ridiculous. I don't think anybody can be perfectly balanced all the time. I think it's an unrealistic expectation that we're going to be balanced. And this is no shade to the male gender, but I think as women, we pick a lot on, like, I have to be the perfect wife, I have to be the perfect sister, I have to be the perfect mom, I have to be the perfect business owner.
I don't think that's how it works.
It's the whole saying of like, I have to work like I'm not a mom and be a mom like I'm not at work kind of thing. Too much pressure. Like, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. Quit trying to put me in a box here. I'm going to do what I got to do. And if some months I'm rocking it out as a mom and doing more travel and like super on it on the homeschool, great. If another month I'm like pulling in 6 figures in a month, even better. I don't care. I don't think that it should be one or the other. I think you're going to have highs and lows in your life. And I think harmony is a much better assessment than balance. Balance is bullshit.
Balance is bullshit. Quote that.
Bullshit.
Badasses. Balance is bullshit. You know what I thought? Dirty thoughts in my mind, but that's for off the podcast. Trying to keep it a little bit PG-13 maybe. But you know what I thought? Matthew McConaughey talks about like he has these pillars in his life, and that when you're paying it, it's kind of like the not the circle of life, the wheel of life that we use. It's old school, like the circle of life.
I know. Now
I heard your But when you are depositing into one, others will lack because your energy is going there. And so it's just being conscious and conscientious, as well as, making sure you're having that harmony and understand. Because if you're searching for balance, which is absolutely not attainable, it's like the perfectionist seeking perfection. It is going to drive you mad. And then going to the separation of church and state, or personal and business, like your professional and personal, like this does weave in. And I know I've been doing this a lot longer than Amanda, and I've made her come a little bit over to this side. Now I'll talk about myself is that, again, I said everything affects one another. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be completely, even if you post all the time, right? Social media, you do not have to put all your business out there. That's not what I'm saying. But knowing that personal and business affect one another, it is like, it's part of the whole of who you are, right? What you do, how you do it, how you navigate. And if you have a bad day at work, then it most likely is going to carry over, and vice versa. And especially if you're the breadwinner of the family, obviously your business affects your personal life, because then you can't book those tickets to Tahiti if you want to go to Tahiti because your business is eating shit. So I know that that's more of a practical kind of, or like a tangible thing to look at. But I personally, and Amanda, I know will have her opinion on it. I do post a lot of things about my personal life. I've shared shit. I wrote a book about it, and I don't believe in that separation. But for years I did. For years I did.
I believe in the separation, sort of. Because I'm a huge compartmentalizer. I will compartmentalize the crap out of anything. And I do not air my grievances out to the world. I'm very private by nature. And so I don't talk about a lot of stuff. And the things that I do talk about are probably things I don't really care that much about.
And the best part of this plan is no one can stop me.
Or there's sections of things I care about. Like, for example, obviously I care about my son. I talk about him in a limited capacity because there isn't full separation. I can't separate who I am as a business owner and provider from the fact that I'm also a solo mom and, world schooler. I can't separate those as a part of my identity, but I don't have to talk all about it. And I have to be honest with it. There are times when my personal life is going to bleed into the business. And I will give a very clear example of it. Last year, we were on a summit. We were doing a summit. Lynn and I were speaking, and my sister passed away while I was speaking at the summit. Like, I got the phone call while I was in the summit, and I finished that day, and then I was like, peace out, I gotta go. And Lynn, luckily, I am very blessed to have a partner who can do that. And Lynn took over, and it was like, I have to leave. Those things happen. And so my business changed a lot in those next 6 months because I was a different person in those 6 months. And it took me probably a solid year before I was even a semblance of normal again. Big things happen in your life and your business is going to be affected. And if you are a solopreneur, if you are the breadwinner in your family, if you just are a big part of your business, it's going to be affected. I don't care where you are in the business. It's going to be a part of it. It's going to be affected. So there is no full separation. And honestly, 99.9% of my friends paid me to be their friend first. I would say most of my friends paid me before I hung out with them. I was trained. I mean, most of them.
I love
Think about every friend I had on Maui.
If you didn't hire me, though.
No, but it was you were actually the only one who I paid to be my friend.
I know.
It was the other way. But normally,
what I'm saying.
Same. But almost all of my friends paid me first before I even talked to them. So I think
she's also antisocial. There's a
True.
huge reason for that, Amanda. If you could stay in your house.
Listen, I think that the hermit lifestyle is underrated. I am all over that. Every time my son brings up this, like, would you stay in your house for 100 days for $1 million? Like, I would stay in my house for 1,000 days for $1,000. That sounds amazing. No problem. Okay. Sign me up.
I love that. I do want to touch on one thing because I find it quite funny, but I do agree with you here because your first thing is I'm not going to air my grievances. That is being something else, not the separation. I definitely agree. You don't just go out there and air all your shit and complain and all of that. So I definitely agree with you there. I think that there's time and appropriateness of when to do that.
But I've seen business owners do that and wonder why they're losing followers. I'm like, dude, you lost clients because you can't say that. You can't. I mean, you can. That's why your business doesn't work.
And if you're always being negative Nelly and like bitching about everything and like how frustrated, woe is me, blah, 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 you're going to attract a certain type of person. So if you're complaining about the clients that you have, babe, reality check, you attracted them. You attracted them by what you're saying. But I definitely agree with you there. Like there's a time and place to have discussions around maybe if you think something's unfair or whatever, but don't air that shit out. Don't air your dirty laundry. We ain't here for it.
This is going to harken back to the olden days. Failure is not an option. That was drilled into me from probably infancy.
It'll be fine. Fine.
Like you don't fail. In the womb. There's no failures in our family. Okay. I wrote it in our first book. I will die on this hill. Failure has been one of my truest, fastest, best teachers. It is not the opposite of success. Avoiding learning the lesson is. I would rather at this point make 10 small mistakes faster than everybody else than spend 2 years trying to avoid one and hoping nobody realizes that I'm not perfect. I don't have time for that. Maybe I had time for it when I was 19, but I don't have time for it anymore. And I don't have the patience for it. Patience is all used up with a small human. I don't have it. No. So failure is absolutely an option. It is a great option. Do it faster, do it longer, do it quicker, do it.
Fail quicker.
Fail.
Yes.
Fail quicker and then learn from that and then move on faster.
Failure is a part of life. You will not always win. And there's no like prizes for second, third, and fourth unless you're in the freaking Olympics. But like, look, failure is a part of life. Failure is a part of business. I can't believe we believe that shit. But it was kind of, it was definitely written to you more, I think, than it was me.
Oh, God, yes.
Definitely. But you're going to fail.
I mean, I think I had a full mental breakdown when I had an A- once. I just lost it. I can't believe it.
Julia, my daughter, same. But, you know, I will say one of the, I think where I saw this play out a bit more is when I really dove into sales, and a really good sales leader who's teaching sales, like for the first time. Like I was naturally good at sales, but when I was learning about the art of sales, and we would talk about how many no's you had to get before you got to a yes. And this is when I was on the phone, telemarketing, selling freaking magazines, and how many no's, how many hangups you had to get to a yes. And a lot of people would think that that's like failure, right? Because you're not making every single sale. And at the end of the day, try to fail forward. But failure is a part of life. Failure is a part of business. Failure is a part of your growth if you allow it to be. Fail fast, fail forward. Okay, next one. The client or customer is always right.
Boo! Boo!
Absolutely not. And no, that doesn't make us always right either.
I disagree, but fine.
And, you know, it's wild. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to treat them in a way that...
It doesn't mean they don't deserve to be heard.
Correct.
They do deserve to be heard.
Correct. But the customer isn't always right. The client is,
and they also,
right, whatever term you want to use.
And they don't always know what they need.
Yeah.
If they did, then they wouldn't need your expertise.
Yeah. And listen, I know not everybody who listens is more service-based. Some of you are product-based as well. And, you know, when I had my security company and we would say the customer is always right. And I understand why that term was created, but it's how you navigate those conversations to help either educate, to be able to listen, because the client wants to like be heard. And sometimes they don't need a response or a solution, but they're not always right. They're not always right, period.
I know. I know that we feel as business owners, and I blame Yelp, honestly. I blame Yelp because after Yelp came out, it became this thing like, I'm going to leave a Yelp review for you. I love when somebody leaves a negative Yelp review. It's like my favorite thing to respond to a negative Yelp review. But I think that scared a lot of entrepreneurs into thinking they had to bow down and kowtow to every whim because they were afraid of the negative pushback. I still have some clients now who are terrified that they're going to get left a negative review. What happens when you get a negative review? Even I was mad when we got a 4-star review on our first book. I was like, I was so mad.
She's like, who is this person?
So, I mean, obviously we all have our moments of losing it. However, I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of the more recent entrepreneurs still fear it. I mean, they fear this, what's somebody else going to say? How is that going to come off? I have to do what they say. I can't, the customer service is so important and that's going to leave a negative feedback and blah, 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 blah. And the people who are negative are the ones who are most likely to talk it up. And I see that and I hear that and I've dealt with it and I've lived it. And, boundaries are part of customer service. And there are times that you're going to have the difficult conversation, even with a client. And it's your job as the owner to hold the line. And there are some things that you have to back your team out. You have to back your team. Like it was a weird call. And there's all sorts of, this is super nuanced. There's all sorts of ways we can take this in different ways, but I'm sorry, the customer is not always right. They always deserve to be heard. sometimes by a psychiatrist, but whatever. They deserve to be heard by somebody. They don't always know what they need. They don't always know what they're talking about. Sometimes they're just needing to complain. Actually, I think of this reel that came on. It was, a woman storms into the cheese shop and she's like, this cheese is terrible. And the lady's like, I'll give you a refund. And she's like, I just wanted to yell at somebody and have a confrontation. And she's like, okay, go ahead. Yell away. Oh, I'm never going to see it again. The point is that some people just want to be confrontational. Customer's not always right.
Well, and
sorry.
sometimes
I'm
you
not
make
sorry.
a mistake. Like literally, I saw that reel. But I will call myself out on this. I went and purchased a electrolyte drink after working out. I was like, my blood sugar was low. My blood pressure was low. Like I was super like in my like woo woo, not in the woo spiritual, but like kind of seeing black dots everywhere. I thought I handed them one type of bill. It was here. So I thought I handed them a 500 baht, but I only handed them 100 baht. So when they gave me back my change, I was like, no, you owe me more. And they went and like, look, there was no 500 baht in the drawer. So, and that was my fault. Like, obviously I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like I was a wee bit like embarrassed about it, but still like at the end of the day, I wasn't right. And it was honest. Like I really thought that I had given them 500 baht. Otherwise, yeah, it is what it is. All right. Do you think before we end this, is there anything, I'm trying to think if there's one thing where we disagree, that you still believe it and I don't, or I still believe it and you don't? I know that there's got to be something.
I'm sure there is.
I mean, I know we differ on the church and state, the personal and professional. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have to probably come back.
I think I still kind of struggle with everything happens for a reason. And like, I don't know, it's more of a fate thing.
But did you ever believe that?
I mean, I think I wanted to believe it.
And now no longer believe.
I don't know. Maybe I need to think back on what do I believe? I don't remember anymore.
I believe I can fly. I
have flown.
Fly, and I know I can't.
I have flown out of an airplane with a parachute, like every normal 20-year-old. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. We should come back on this because I'm sure there are some things that we believed and don't believe anymore, or vice versa.
Again, absolutely.
We'll do this again.
I cannot
get fired up
to read the comments. So what's one thing you believed and you no longer believe? I want to see it in the comments. DM us, put it in the comments. Oh, I'm excited about this one. This one got me all fired up.
Well, we were totally fired up about this one. So we hope that you are fired up too. And we hope that there are some of the things that we mentioned that you used to believe that we might have put a spark, just a tiny grain of thought to the opposite, to the contrary. Maybe you still currently believe it. Maybe we've planted the seed that there is another alternative out there. Maybe you'll come to the dark side. We have cookies.
I want a cookie.
Right.
I know. Go ahead and leave that
That's
comment.
the worst part about my current apartment. I just don't have enough cookie making paraphernalia.
Wow. Yeah, we live in tiny apartments in the center of Bangkok, so they don't have the same kind of appliances like when we were living in Hawaii.
My giant KitchenAid, my old Susie Homemaker days.
You know what I miss? I miss my Vitamix. I miss my Vitamix. Anyway, we're digressing. Go ahead and share this with somebody who needs to hear maybe that it's okay to change your mind. Like maybe you believed in it at one time and you no longer believe in it. It's okay.
It's okay to disagree with yourself.
That you had at one point. And you changed your mind and said, I'm no longer in love with you. It's okay.
All you have to do is scroll back through the X's and you can realize how far you've come. Faux show.
You used to believe something with them.
Yeah. So take that and apply it to your business. We want to hear from you. What stood out to you? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? We want to hear all of it because now we are looking for the things that Lynn and I disagree with. So we'll circle back to that. Tell us what you think. Subscribe as always, like and share and follow all the things. And until next time.
Get after it and be ready for part 2. Thanks for tuning in, but remember, listening is not doing.
Take what you heard today and move.
Share the episode, leave us a review, and tag us when you take action.
Head over to thepursuitofbadassery.com and see how we're helping entrepreneurs get results without the fluff.
Until next time,
let's get after it.